because they are afraid. It is confirmed that she went and she got tested numerous times, minimum 6 times. Minimum. Where? In government medical facilities with qualified personnel and acceptable facilities with the standards required, with the facilities that are needed. The same government, after finding out that she is HIV positive, wants to control her. And what do? They approach her and tell her, you must take medicine. You must take the ARVs. And you must do this regularly and as the prescription suggests. She takes. Where does she get this medicine from, or the ARVs? From the same institutions that the Ministry of Health or the government is running. She takes them and they follow up. They put her in a file. They give her what you call a 258 card, the CCC card, what has been called the yellow card. Unique, like a fingerprint, points to a particular person. When you go back to where she started her treatment, which Kemri, I tend to think, should do, you find that she had been tested a number of times and she is HIV positive. So there is no doubt that she was, according to documentation and according to the tests. And that is why you decide to put somebody on medication. Now that they say she was never positive, and now they realize that these documents do exist, they have actually injured her mentally and to the extent that we cannot be able to say, subject to quantification. They know that if their kit was defective or they did a wrong thing and they have put her through this process of medication, there is mental torture, anguish, and suffering. And they know this shall visit them. They must pay. So the only way they can be able to get out of this is to say she was never. How are they going to run away from the documentation that they have, that she has been given, that they actually told her? She did not go there to tell them she was HIV positive. She went there for treatment and they told her she was, and followed up and told her come for medication. She does that. She does it on a regular basis, as you've heard her sad story. She tells you how the children reminded her, how the husband was in pain, how she was in pain. So one day she sits in front of a television. The Menengai 7 is going on. She sees the prophet praying for people. She's watching this through TV 47. She takes her card as the prophet is praying and puts the card there with the belief. And she tells you clearly that the moment she does that, she feels some relief in her. She feels it. She falls down. She sweats. And she knows there is a change in her body. And what does she do about that? She goes back and tries to see. She thinks and decides, I might be okay. So she goes for a testing. She speaks to people. She speaks to the family. They go and test her. And they find she's HIV negative. Not only once, but again for a number of times, not less than 6. Again. Now, are we going to say that faith to religion, beliefs to religion, is not true? Are we going to stand here and criticize it? Just like it said, he who does not believe cast the first stone. Is there anybody here who can cast the first stone that it is not true? Is there anybody who can tell her that she was not healed? This one does not require science. This is faith. This is religion. This is belief. So she's found out she's negative. What does Kemri do? Calls her, does the unlawful things, takes blood directly from her, and now goes back and says she was never positive. Do you see the consequences that they are fearing? Now, are you telling the public here today that you have defective kits, yet it's a constitutional right to health? Are you telling us that the diagnosis is not correct? Are you telling us you have medical staff that are not qualified? Are you telling us that you have fake results to many other people? Is that what you're telling us? Who is responsible? Now you see where I'm going with that story. Are you saying that you have different classes of people? The ones in Kemri are different from the ones that you have sent into the Siaya counties and all other areas? Are you saying that the facilities you have in Kemri could be better than the ones you're giving to the people in the local areas? Are you saying that you're discriminating? Are you saying that Millicent is a liar? Based on what? You, same government, tell her she's HIV, and you, the same government, are telling her she's HIV negative. And now you want to throw mud at her? You want to call a dog a bad name so that you can kick it? This is why sometimes when we say put people in the ministry who are competent, please do so. From the head, and you know what I mean, to the bottom, put people who are qualified. But also on the same level as you've heard from Peter and as you've heard from Millicent, we cannot rule out faith. But remember one thing, for this one, you will pay.
Millicent was never a member of Prophet Owor's church at the onset. Until the miracle, that's when she joined that church, and she has always been faithful in Prophet Owor's church. Let me put to context this church. The Church of Prophet Owor has a total congregation spread the whole country and the diaspora to the tune of over 10 million followers. That's not a simple church. Number two, the church is both physical and virtual, so that the congregants can be able to access religious instructions and miracles physically and digitally. Millicent is a beneficiary of the second aspect of the digital miracle process. The essence of the miracles is as old as Christianity. It is as old as the old Bible during Moses' time. It is as old as mankind. Therefore, C.S. Dwale was not there when the concept of miracles started. Free. Our clients, and more specifically Millicent, was diagnosed by doctors to be having HIV/AIDS. These are government doctors. We have had a chance to listen to them, the doctors. Out of curiosity by me and Martina and Cliff, we asked the doctors, why are you in this church? And the doctors told us, but they test people, and once they certify that one has been tested positive, it is like the courts, and that's why we are here. That is a death sentence. They gave us the protocols of NASCOP, the original protocols of NASCOP. Once you have been tested positive, just go near the village where your grave is, because you are destined to die. New protocols, and we have attached a copy of the new protocols for testing. There is now provision for retesting. So scientifically, the question is, when there is the provision for retesting, then there is a possibility of testing negative. So the theory that once tested positive, you can never reverse to negative, science has proved that you can reverse negative. And that is why the new protocols are saying retest. And that's why we are putting to Duale and his team at the ministry. Explain the circumstances under which you have allowed medical personnel to retest. Our client was tested by government officers. Our client was retested by government officers who are doctors. These doctors, after they tested very many Kenyans who were positive, later the same patients came back and told the doctors, retest. And after retesting, they found out that very many, like Millicent, are retesting negative. Surprisingly, I insisted to be given a data. Prophet of World's Church has a total of more than 2,000 doctors in one church. Because of that. When Millicent and Tim said this, these doctors confirmed. The ministry was mad on them. The ministry was ready to sack all the government doctors. The ministry instituted disciplinary processes. None of the doctors was sacked. All of them are on the payroll of government. Those who tested first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they're still in government payroll. That is a clear indication that the veracity of the tests are very clear. It was on TV when the doctors stood up and said, this is what we confirm. Aggrieved with what has happened, Millicent has already gone and filed a complaint at the DCI at Tusigu in Bondo, in Siaya County. We have attached a copy of the OB. The DCI shall be moving to court through a miscellaneous to get the documents in custody of government. People, as Mr. Cleaver said it, all testing equipments and machinery are sourced after endorsement from the World Health Organization. Is the ministry and is the minister, is Duale telling Kenyans, testing kits in this country are being manufactured and sourced from River Road? That is the narrative. The minister is telling the Republic that we are alone with our own lives and God help us. The testing equipment is serious issue. The procurement process is watertight. When you look at what is happening with our clients, there is a clear conspiracy by the CS, the PS, the directors at Afya House, and all the government bureaucracy in the Ministry of Health to try to cover up a serious fiasco. I know they have their own share problems, but this is more serious than SHA. We have given 14 days. We are heading to court. We shall be filing, suing the minister and suing all the people into this matter. We have also instructed our client that we shall be sending samples of her to international private laboratories. KEMRI is dually controlled, is government controlled. We shall be sending samples out of the country to test how KEMRI can come with us a decision that she had never contracted. If today, I know my friend Mr. Cliff the other day was unwell of flu 2 years ago, which laboratory can test him and say that he has never had flu all his life? That beats logic. So we will be testing this against the scientific principles that are there. We know very well there is a blue code of silence within the government bureaucracy that try to cover up this issue. We are determined to get it very clear. This is not the first attack and distortion of faith-based organization. When me and Cliff fought for Pastor Ezekiel, the story was the same. Distortion of facts by government agencies. We are determined to defend the church of Prophet Owor. We are determined to defend the 10 million congregants of that church. We are determined to get justice for the two clans of us, and we are determined to get justice for citizens of this country and foreigners who are living in this country, who then are being exposed to a fake mediocrity in terms of medical provisions. Our client, as you can see, the type of embarrassment when somebody has been told that you are HIV positive, the type of stigma it brings, especially to women, to the family, community. This is a very, very grave. The epistemology, the theology, and the teachings of Prophet Owor. What is it? If you have been tested positive by a doctor, come, we pray to you. The first entry is you must be tested positive. Millicent was tested positive. After the miracle, the prophet tells you, go back to the science for them to confirm whether you have been healed or not. Millicent went back to the same doctors This is a religious theology anchored on science. The people who identify that you are HIV positive are doctors. The people who will confirm that you have been healed are doctors. And this is what the minister is not ready to face. But as we have said, we have given a very firm notice that we are going for a classical case against the government of Kenya, and which will clearly bring thousands and millions of Kenyans who either are put on ARVs not because of their own fault, but because of the fault of the government of Kenya. We shall also equally be looking at the violations, the constitutional violations of Article 32 of the Constitution on the right to religion. We shall also be looking at the right to health and the right to life. What our two clans have faced. This is a national matter, and we are urging Duale. I think you can remember when the Supreme Court made a decision that even children born outside wedlock are entitled to protection under Article 53 of the Constitution. Duale led the issue that that is not Islamic faith, and that cannot apply under the Muslim law. He invoked the inherent provision of Article 32 to defend his faith, the Muslim faith. That time, Article 32 was very, very critical to the CS. Today, that article is what we are invoking, that the right to do miracles is protected under Article 32. If indeed these are masqueraders, have they been arrested and be charged? Have they been arrested for giving false information to a public officer, being doctors? None. They are walking free. They have walked to our chambers, and they are here addressing the public. In the reverse, it is them who have gone to the police and have sued. Any government insensitive to the health conditions of its citizens is a government not fit to be in power. Health supersedes education. Health is life. And that is the question we are putting to the government in place at this time. If they are not sensitive to the plight of these citizens, and in light of the most dangerous stigmatized disease called HIV/AIDS, then this issue is bigger than this government. Our clients have never been treated in a private entity. They have been treated in government entities. We are watching, we are alert, and we shall ensure justice for our two clans, and we hope the government will clarify and KEMRI will retract that afterthought letter trying to cover the mistakes of government. Thank you.